In a garden cloaked in the quiet of night, under the watch of ancient olive trees, a story of profound love unfolds. Here, by the gentle flicker of torchlight, stands a figure of perfect calm. This is Jesus. As soldiers draw near, a wave of fear ripples through his closest friends, the disciples. They see the betrayal, the coming storm, but he remains serene, his heart set on a purpose far greater than their fear could comprehend. The scene shifts, from the dew-kissed leaves of Gethsemane to the cold stone of a courtroom. Before the powerful leaders of the land, he stands silent. Accusations fly like arrows, yet he offers no defense. His silence is not weakness, but a testament to a truth that needs no argument, a kingdom not of this world. In his quiet dignity, we see the strength of a love that willingly walks into the darkness for the sake of others, a king who chooses a crown of thorns over a crown of gold. The morning light reveals a stark scene upon a rocky hill known as Golgotha. 3 crosses stand silhouetted against the sky. On the center cross hangs Jesus. The sounds of the city below fade into a hum, and the world seems to hold its breath. At the foot of the cross stand his mother, Mary, and his beloved disciple, John. Their faces are etched with a sorrow so deep it seems to carve the very air around them. They weep, not with loud cries, but with a quiet, holy grief that speaks of a love torn and a hope seemingly lost. As the hours pass, a strange darkness begins to creep across the land, swallowing the daylight. A wind rises, not with violence, but with a mournful sigh, rustling their simple robes. In this moment of profound suffering, there is a sacred stillness. It is the sorrow of heaven and earth, mourning the sacrifice of the Son of God. Every shadow, every tear, every gust of wind seems to participate in this cosmic lament, bearing witness to the immense cost of redemption. It is a portrait of love in its most sacrificial form, enduring the unimaginable for the sake of humanity. Then, a final breath. Jesus bows his head, his mission complete. It is finished. At that moment, a tremor runs through the earth, a subtle shudder as creation itself feels the weight of what has transpired. The veil in the temple, separating humanity from the holy presence of God, is torn from top to bottom. The path is now open. His earthly journey concludes in the silence of a borrowed tomb. Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus gently take his body down from the cross. They wrap it in clean linen cloths, with spices, an act of love and respect for their fallen teacher. They lay him in a new tomb, carved from rock, where no one had ever been laid. With heavy hearts, they roll a great stone across the entrance, sealing the finality of death. The world falls into a profound quiet, a silence filled with unspoken questions and shattered dreams. The hope that had burned so brightly for 3 years seemed to be extinguished, locked away behind cold, unyielding stone. But the story does not end in the darkness of the grave. On the 3rd day, as the first rays of sunrise paint the eastern sky with hues of rose and gold, a miracle dawns. At the tomb, the great stone, the symbol of death's finality, has been rolled away. From within the empty cavern streams a warm, golden light, a light that holds no shadow, a light that speaks of life renewed. And there, standing in the morning glow, is Jesus. He is not a ghost, not a memory, but alive, whole, and radiating a peace that surpasses all understanding. His disciples, led by Mary Magdalene, come to the tomb with heavy hearts, only to find it empty. They run, their grief turning to shock, then to disbelief, and finally, to an explosive, unbelievable joy. The fear that had paralyzed them begins to melt away, replaced by a dawning hope, a realization that the love they witnessed is stronger than death itself. This is the turning point of all history, where sorrow is turned into dancing, and the darkest night gives way to an eternal morning. That same evening, the disciples are gathered together in a locked room. They huddle in the lamplight, fear still a palpable presence among them. The doors are barred, their hearts are guarded, and their future is a terrifying unknown. They speak in hushed tones, trying to make sense of the impossible stories they have heard. Suddenly, without a door opening, without a sound, Jesus is there, standing in their midst. A collective gasp, a frozen moment of awe and terror. But he speaks the words their souls long to hear. Peace be with you. And as he speaks, a profound calm settles over the room. He shows them his hands and his side, the wounds of his sacrifice, now glorious emblems of his victory. As they look upon him, their doubt dissolves into tears of overwhelming joy and relief. The fear that had held them captive is broken. Their shattered faith is not just repaired. It is reborn, forged in the fire of sorrow and resurrected into a strength they had never known. In his presence, they are transformed from a frightened flock into empowered witnesses, ready to carry his message of peace to a broken world. The days that follow are filled with wondrous encounters, as Jesus prepares his disciples for the journey ahead. He leads them out to a familiar hillside near Bethany, a place of quiet reflection. As they gather around him, a gentle, golden light begins to emanate from him, a light that feels like both a farewell and a promise. He lifts his hands and blesses them. It is a blessing that carries the weight of eternity, a father's blessing upon his beloved children. And then, as they watch in hushed adoration, he begins to rise. Slowly, gracefully, he ascends into the sky, the golden light enveloping him until he is received into the clouds. They stand, necks craned, eyes fixed on the spot where he disappeared, their hearts filled not with sorrow, but with an overwhelming sense of worship and purpose. They are not abandoned, they are commissioned. This is not an ending, but a new beginning. The Spirit he promised would now come to guide them, to empower them, to be with them always. They return to Jerusalem with great joy, their lives forever changed, ready to begin the work he had entrusted to them. From that moment on, a fire is lit that will never be extinguished. The disciples, once timid and fearful, are now filled with the Holy Spirit and a divine boldness. In the ancient streets of Jerusalem and the dusty villages of Judea, their voices ring out with a new authority. We see Peter, the rock, preaching with such power that thousands are moved to believe in a single day. We see John, the beloved disciple, kneeling in prayer, and the sick are made well. The message of a resurrected king, a love that conquers death, spreads like wildfire. People from all walks of life, fishermen, tax collectors, scholars, and servants, are drawn to this radical message of hope and forgiveness. They find community, they find purpose, and they find new life. The movement grows, not through earthly power or worldly wisdom, but through the simple, transformative power of the gospel. The final scene shows these apostles, these ordinary men turned world changers, walking together down a dusty road, the setting sun casting long shadows behind them. They walk into the future, their faces set, their hearts united, carrying the light of Christ into a world waiting in darkness. And so, the story continues, through them, and now, through us. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing for more stories of faith and hope.